Hi everyone, and welcome to today's webcast, where you'll hear from ASCENT author Barb Nash about what's new in 3 of ASCENT's Autodesk Vault training guides. I'll now pass things over to our presenter. So Barb, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Corrine. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Like Corrine said, I'll be talking about what's new in the Vault 2016 training guides, and before we get into it, I'll mention a little bit about myself. So along with developing Vault standard courseware, I'm the primary courseware developer and project manager for PDM and PLM custom courseware projects. Example projects include creating training guides and e-learning courses with products from Autodesk, as well as PTC's Windchill and Dassault Systems or Novia products. So we'll start the presentation here. This is the overview. So what I'll be covering today are the updates to the Vault 2016 training guides. I'll be showing a before and after shot type of presentation to help show these changes between the Vault 2015 R1 version and 2016 training guides. So note that some of the enhancements did come out in 2015 R2. So they're also in 2016 that you'll see here. And listed here are the topics. So first I'll start with the training guide format updates and what the guides look like before in 2015 R1 and after in 2016. Next are the changes to the guides as a result of the get and checkout enhancements that you may be aware of. Then we'll go through some of the items and bill of materials enhancements that were incorporated into the training guides. And there were also changes made to the Vault Thin Client chapter in the Vault Professional guide that we'll take a look at. Again, comparing the changes to what was in the 2015 R1 guide for your reference. So by now, you've all probably seen the new copy design interface. So I'll show how we've covered it in the guides. And last, I'll summarize the Vault training guides that we have available and their release details. We're estimating that the webcast will last about 30 minutes. And for your reference here, this is the list of the guides that are currently released and that we're referring to today. So the Vault Basic, Vault Workgroup, and Vault Professional Essentials. They contain both administrative and user content. And the table of contents for the 2015 and 2016 versions of these guides are essentially the same. But of course, the content is different, so we'll go through that. So the images shown here of the updates were made to the guide regarding formatting. So we've taken away the 2-column format for exercises and updated the format for easier readability and consistency with our other training guides. You can see here on the left under the 2015 R1 column that 2 columns exist, and on the right 1 column exists in the 2016 guide. We've also updated all the rules and best practices throughout the guides that required updating as a result of the enhancements. So this slide shows the changes between the get and checkout operations. So in 2015 R1, there was 1 command. So you can see here 1 command is shown in the right click button in this case. And then in 2016, there are the 2 commands, so both get and checkout. So this is really a big change to the guides. So wherever the get checkout command is used, the training guides have been updated accordingly. So for those who may be wondering, the checkout now simply locks the file without downloading it to the working folder, and then get allows you to check out and download, as well as specify a specific revision and version if you like. And so again, all the text tables and exercises that use the get checkout command have been updated. One of the major enhancements to the Vault software in 2015 2015 R2 and 2016 has been to unify the administration of all the object type behaviors. So this slide shows the life cycles section on the left image here under 2015 R1, and these item behavior definitions have been removed from the items tab in 2016, since the item behaviors have been now consolidated in the behaviors tab with the others. And I'll show more information on that in the next slides. So I'm going to just do some clicking here. So to explain the unification further and how it applies to the changes made in the guides, if we click on the Life Cycles button from the Behaviors tab, as shown up here, in 2015 R1 we saw this, and then in 2016 we now see the item release process added. Hope I didn't move on too quickly. So if I select the item release process, you can see that the configuration of the item release process has now been consolidated, and the functionality is the same as the other process configurations that you may be used to with transitions and security, etc. So you may be wondering what it was like in the 2015 guide. And so here is a procedure that was in the guide before documenting the old configuration procedure. So we've removed the old documentation from the professional guide and added the new functionality. And you can see here that we used to select the items tab here, for configuring the item process, and not the behaviors tab as it is now in 2016. So here, if I were to edit one of the lifecycle states in the item release process, we have the ability to edit the transitions and security and so forth. Other similar unification of data behavior procedure updates were also done throughout the training guides to apply to items, not just files, for example. So this is one example, but others were done throughout the various guides. Okay, back to the items tab. In the 2016 image, you will see how there are now new options for watermarking and for item assignment preferences, as well as the new property write back feature. So these enhancements and how the training guide has been updated as a result will be described next. So the item watermarking configuration. The training guide shows the configuration of item watermarks being generated based on the item's lifecycle state, the specified item property, and or customized text. Now if I click on the drop-down menu, you'll see these three options. And here we have the new options for item watermarking configuration generated based on the item's life cycle state. So in this image, we have it was based off of the state of work in progress. And this is the image shown in the documented procedure for specifying a property for the watermark. So you specify a property, and the watermark value is based on that specified property. And similar to what you may be used to with Adobe's PDF watermarking functionality, you can specify custom text to configure a watermark. So you enter the text, and you can specify the location and font. And we've basically added these procedures to the Vault Professional Guide. Another configuration option that we've added, this time to the Assign configuration procedure, is the new Assign Item option of Group BOM rows as per the design BOM. And so select this if you want BOM rows grouped or ungrouped based on how the application has them. And then the new property write-back feature has also been documented in the Vault Professional Guide. This option, when selected, allows you to manually synchronize properties on the files associated with items. So just to break things up, I'll just show live the options we've covered so far in the Vault Professional software. So here I have just a folder of, in this case, inventor files. And I'm just going to show the difference between the checkout and the get commands as being two separate commands now. So we have the checkout here, and if I were to select it, it just simply checks out the file, just locking it essentially, and so that no one else can modify it. And if I just quickly do a undo checkout, pick the get option, and here you can see that the files can be downloaded, checked out. There's various options you can specify here, including the revision or version that you would like to work on. Okay, and I was talking a lot about the Behaviors tab. So if we go into Tools, Administration, Vault Settings, if I first pick Items tab, unlike in 2015 R1, we don't have a Life Cycles section. So in 2016, as I had mentioned before, this has all been consolidated into the Behaviors tab, and if I select Life Cycles there, you can see the item release process that I had referred to. So we can edit that and do any of your further editing on the transitions or security or so forth. Okay, so that was a quick demo before we move on. Okay, the next topic is Vault Thin Client. Here we have the changes to the Vault Thin Client software in 2016 and the screenshots of before and after. So the effective revisions for released items options, this one here was removed in 2016 since it was no longer applicable, since bombs are immediately effective when the item is released. And there are also new options for displaying latest revision and bill of materials rows for all of which have been added to the Vault Thin Vault Thin Client chapter in the Professional Guide. As mentioned before, a new copy design interface was introduced, and that I'd recommend to take a look at if you get a chance. It is a separate program that's installed under Autodesk Data Management Tools. And in 2015, copy design was accessed from within Autodesk Vault. As seen here, it was through the right-click menu. And this functionality still does exist in 2016 in all flavors of Vault. But here we have the separate application shown, and basically in the 2016 training guide, there is a lesson on copy design, and that's in the work group guide, in fact, that starts with orienting you to the new interface shown here, and then explains each area, so the main view, toolbar, navigation panel, and the associated procedures. So an exercise has also been added. So that's what's been updated with regards to the new copy design. So I hope that gives you a good idea of the changes made to the 3 Essentials training guides. Here on the screen we have our complete lineup of Autodesk Vault training guides. And as you can see, the top 3 are already released and are the ones that we just talked about. where these guides are for both administrators and users, and a great reference. The Inventor and AutoCAD users guides shown here are for users only, so they're user-focused, and for Inventor or AutoCAD only. And these two guides are in the process of being released. The last shown here is the custom courseware option, where we work with clients to come up with something that suits their needs, whether it be to their customized to their processes, environment, and their data set. So that is what that one is all about. So I think that concludes what I wanted to talk about. So now I'm going to turn it back to Corinne. Thank you very much.
Short and sweet. Thanks, Barb. I just
Welcome.
want to let everyone know that the courseware that Barb is referring to is available in a couple of different formats. There we go. So we have our printed spiral-bound books. We call those student guides. There's an image there on the left of them. And they've got nice wide margins for making your notes in. And then we also have the ebook, if you prefer a digital copy of that. And you can purchase those. That's okay. You can purchase these and all of our courseware on our ASCENT eStore.com. And Barb will show that next slide, and maybe you can even highlight that first website there, the ASCENT eStore. You can also go to our website as well if you're more familiar with navigating through that. Either on the website or the eStore, you can also get all sorts of helpful information. We have page count of the books, we have pricing, a table of contents, sample chapters that you can see as well. And then we also encourage everyone to follow us on Twitter. We recently had a social media contest on there. It was a lot of fun, and some people won some free ebooks, which was great. So we'll probably have another one of those in January or February. And also we encourage you to check out our blog. Barb is one of our bloggers. Pretty sure she said she would put some of the updates that she just talked about here into a blog. We'll have those for you coming up soon as well.